Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you are in the world, and a happy Thanksgiving week to those of us here in the United States. Great to have you here, tuned in live, Shadow Edge Media live on Twitch TV for week number 4 of the FM4 Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. And as we take a look at the leaderboard, we see a very familiar name, Slaps Vela, sitting atop at a cool 100 points. SVR Family Dude back behind him at 94, C-Tom. And then you've got Disco Joint, Slipstream, IML, Fear the Fun, Foontang, Iceman Misfit, Bambi Buster, Presto's Besto, Slow Motion Fire. They're through the top 12 with 26 points. They're in 12th position. A difference there of almost 75 from 12th to 1st. But definitely those first three are the ones that we'll have an eye on throughout the race here today. And I would even include Disco Joint, Slipstream, IML, Fear the Fun, and why not? Let's go with Foontang as well. We're getting word here today that Slaps Vela, once again, for the second week in a row, will not be out on the track. And so with that being said, a real opportunity for those who are right there behind him to catch up and have a chance at taking the top spot on the overall leaderboard. So we'll see how that pans out, and we get ready to go for some qualifying here. We'll take a look. Disco Joint going to be the first to roll out, and we head to the test track airfield here in Forza Motorsport 7. What is this track? Where are we? What are we doing? How many turns? How many miles? Well, I can tell you the mileage, 1.74, but that's about it. I know nothing else about this circuit. Apparently this is a thing here in the FM4 is to go out to the test track. And so this is a fictional circuit, as you can tell, at an airfield. And they actually work their way through like some of the hangars, the aircraft hangars. It's incredible. So we'll see how that plays into how these drivers end up sorting themselves out on the track, not only here during qualifying, but during the race. With all these barriers, all these obstacles to work with, it'll certainly be interesting. And again, 1.74 miles, so a relatively short track. And once we get out there onto the track for the race, because it is a short one, we'll be looking at 24 laps. And let me give a little bit of a description here that the race organizers provide to give you a little bit of context. Right through the opening in the wall. So we're going through, yes, a hangar, which includes an opening, which means that there's going to be some sides here. And if you go 2, probably even 3 wide, you got to be looking out, and look at that. Disco Joint hitting the hump and getting airborne there in his Fiat X19, despite the fact that these things only got 102 horsepower. Plenty of power to get up in the air. And look at that. You got an obstacle that is right there in the middle of the track. You either go left or you go right, and then you've got all those lamp posts that are just surrounded by tire walls. This could be a pretty crazy race. This is unlike anything that we've seen in the MMC, and of course the Mileage Masters Championship wrapping up this past Sunday with Slaps Vela coming away as the champion there in season number 4. And here in season 24 of FM4, will he be able to come away as a champion in this one? We'll have to see. We watch Disco Joint flying lap. Let me go ahead and pull up a little bit of extra information. That'll be helpful so that we can see what these times are, who's setting the best time. We take a look there. Slipstream at a 117.3. This is the first flying lap, though, that we're seeing here with Disco Joint. And that being said, that 117 and now a 116 by Family Dude should be beaten this next time by for everybody. And Disco Joint, you'll see there with a 114. Let's go ahead and check out Family Dude, who, again, running pretty high up on the leaderboard. They're in second position, 94 points, six back from Slaps Vela. We'll see if Family Dude's able to grab the pole position in this race and therefore have a good shot at jumping over Slaps. So it's pretty much impossible not to overtake Slaps Vela here in this race. Now that he had missed week 3, which means that was his drop week. Here in week 4, by missing it, he'll get goose eggs there in his total standings, which will put him a peg or 2 down on the board. These Fiat X19s, they're the choice of C-Tom. C-Tom, who was the season 23 champion. So he opted for this car, and they're at E300, Performance Index E300. That's on the very, very low end here in Forza Motorsport 7. We've got E, D, C, B, A, S, R1, R2. Bunch of different classes, but these E-Class cars on the very low side. E300, 102 horsepower, 112 foot-pounds of torque, 2,077 pounds of weight. We see Imel there with the top speed of 110. Family Dude has got the pole position currently with that 112.8 as we watch him get around the track, although he has already completed his time. So let's see if we can't find somebody else who's wrapping up maybe their session. Let's go to Gotta Go Fast. You can see there with Carpe Diem, and Carpe Diem ghosted out, a little bit transparent, and that allows the drivers who, all of the drivers as they're out here doing laps for qualifying to not be able to come in contact with one another. In addition to that, they're not able to draft off each other, so they can't benefit from a draft to therefore make themselves faster in their laps. Nerd Complex, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Should be wrapping up qualifying here pretty soon. If not already, it might be one of those instances where the game has not dropped us out of the lobby. Let me double check here. Let's go to Bibbidi for the first time, and actually there we go. That's it. And let's see if we can't pull out the top spot. Disco Joint with a 114.666. Looking through here, Blister Gypsy with a 113.9, but that's interesting. 113.9 compared to the 114.66. Although, as I look at it now, they all have this this pyramid or this triangle with the exclamation mark in it. That means that here in Forza Motorsport 7, that time has been invalidated as it relates to a clean lap. But because all these drivers have an invalidated time, it doesn't matter. They'll all stack up based on their best lap. And so, that being said, I see that 113 of Blister Gypsy .9, 113.8 by C-Tom. What else do we have? Slipstream with 113.9. And Family Dude with the top time of 112.8. So there you go. Family Dude's going to be out in front on the pole position. And again, second position on the overall leaderboard with 94. So after one race here in week number 4, he will become the new leader. C-Tom undoubtedly will follow, as he sits at 84 total points. So we'll see some shifting here in the leaderboard coming out of week number 4. And, of course, week number 4 is a signal that we're going into our final week next Tuesday. Week number 5, there are 5 weeks in each FM4 season. And the 5th race concludes out at Lime Rock, and that'll be an interesting one. It's one race, 65 laps, or about 75 minutes of racing at the West Chicane in Lime Rock. And so you can watch that next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here, Shadow Edge Media on Twitch TV. We're allowing the race organizers to get everything set up, all the drivers to make any adjustments to their cars as they prepare for this one. Actually, they've got us out at Road Atlanta right now, so they'll have to correct that. We're not racing at Road Atlanta. That would be one heck of a flipping of the script for these drivers. You practice and you qualify out at the test track, and then boom, now you're dropped in at in Georgia. And actually, we were just there last race of week number 3, the second race of week 3, Road Atlanta. We did 17 laps out there. So perhaps maybe the settings just kind of reverting back to that week. We'll get everything sorted out here shortly, and we'll get underway. FM4 Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. And so these guys, they all have the same vehicle setup in terms of the upgrades to those cars, and that is comprised of the race air filter, sport carburetor, sport ignition, race valves. As far as handling goes, race brakes, race springs and dampers, front and rear race roll bars or anti-roll bars, sport chassis reinforcement roll cage, sport weight reduction in the drivetrain. They've got race clutch, sport transmission, sport driveline, race differential, tires and rims, street tire compound, wrapped around 1552 forged, 2-piece Outlaw 001, 14-inch diameter wheels. No aero adjustments to the car. Bone stock as it came from the dealer of Fiat or the Fiat dealers, and then aspiration conversion. They do have a positive displacement supercharger to take them up to that whopping 102 horsepower. So one of the slower cars that they've raced here in the FM4 series. And depending on who wins this championship here in Season 24, they then pick what the vehicle choice will be for Season 25. So not only do you get a little bit of bragging rights if you come away as the champion after 5 weeks of racing, but then you also get to select the car. And I know in the Discord channel for the FM4 series, they've definitely have alluded to the fact that they would like to go up a notch in terms of performance, maybe something a little bit quicker. So we'll see what's going on there. And looks like the race organizers getting everything sorted. We'll go ahead and switch everything over here for you so you can see. But we've got C-Tom, Family Dude, Fear the Fun, IML, Slipstream, Presto is Besto, Gotta Go Fast, GT, OLW, or Ollie as we know him, Disco Joint, Foontang, Carpe Diem, Demos, T-Phrase, brand new name to the bunch, Blister Gypsy, Slow Motion Fire, and another new name of Bippity. And then you've got TFX Ray Devil. 17 drivers out here today, so pretty good grouping. Pretty good appearance all throughout FM4 Season 24. If you want more information on how you can become a part of this series or this league, whatever you want to call it, reddit.com/r/FM4. That's the web address you need. And you'll want to check that out for the up-to-date point standings, the scorebook. And then it's got all those details, everything that I just rattled off in terms of the vehicle performance so that you can put together a vehicle that is eligible. And then as things change for Season 25, then that's where you'll want to go as well for all the latest information. Taking a look at the racer comms here, and they're telling me that they're racing. I don't see it happening. Oh, here we go. There's the countdown. We've got the 3-second countdown before we go into the lobby, and there's a quick look at the grid. Family Dude out there in front. Let's go ahead. Let's go to IML with our view. If we could pick IML. There we go. We'll start with IML out on the track. So it's going to be Family Dude with C-Tom opposite of him. Slipstream back there in the second column with IML, or second row, whichever way you're looking at it. Disco Joint, Slow Motion Fire, Fear the Fun, Gotta Go Fast. Here we go, 24 laps out at the Test Track Full Circuit here in Forza Motorsport 7. Kick the tires, light the fires, we're underway. Where's IML? I don't see him. There he is. He's back there still in 4th position. C-Tom there in 2nd, Slipstream in 3rd. Who do we have out in front? Well, it's undoubtedly going to be Family Dude, who was there on the pole position. And here they go into turn number 1, this big, wide right-hander past the water tower. And then there you got to look out for that obstacle right there in the middle. You either pick the left or the right. We've got a majority of the cars, if not everybody, opting for the inside line. Probably a wise decision, avoiding all those light poles. And there they go through the hangar. What a circuit we have. And cutting through. Got a little bit of a chicane section here before you get ready to make another right-hander back out onto the airfield, the airstrip. Slipstream riding in 3rd, IML staying in 4th, Disco Joint there in 5th. So pretty much where these guys qualify is where they currently ride. Back there in 5th position, and again, we mentioned Disco Joint. Slow Motion Fire is going to be there in 6th. Fear the Fun in 7th. Presto is Besto is back in 8th, and Disco Joint gets wide and is into the crash barrier. Let's go. I'm not going to be able to see it. He's already probably cleared away from it, but yeah, he was up into the wall. Unfortunately for these drivers, the only thing that wears out or that gets damage out on this track is the tire and fuel situation. Fuel shouldn't be an issue, as is the case in all the races here in Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. But the tires will degrade. Fortunately for this particular track, the damage of the vehicle body panels and the mechanical components is purely cosmetic. So that little flub there by Disco Joint won't damage him or ruin his race too badly. He'll be able to get along just fine, and he most certainly is, keeping there in 5th position. Actually dropping back now to 6th. Let's go up to the front of the pack with Family Dude qualifying out there with that quick pace of a 1:12, I think it was. The 112 range with 113s and 114s right behind him. and that beautiful Alitalia designed Fiat X19. C-Tom is back behind him. Slipstream IML as they go through the hangar once again, making that right-hander before it's back to the start-finish line from the beginning of lap number 3. Family Dude going to take advantage of Slaps Vela not being a part of this race, and unfortunately Slaps was unable to race back in week 3. He did race on Sunday in the Mileage Masters Championship, but he met his ultimately his demise there by being beaten, coming in second there in that finale. He came away with the championship, so it didn't matter one way or another there. But not racing here in this one, and that could ruin his chances of coming away as the FM4 Season 24 champion. Everybody now chasing Family Dude. Family Dude is the rabbit. He's the rabbit, and everybody else is the greyhounds. We see C-Tom back there. Let's see if we can't find ourselves some action back in the pack. Slow Motion Fire has moved up to 5th, taking that from Disco Joint, who has apparently fallen back. Now, Slow Motion Fire's got Blister Gypsy back behind him. Slow Motion Fire in that Wonder Bread design Fiat. Blister Gypsy. Come on, camera, work with us. Right there on the backside of Slow Motion Fire. Let's go ahead and actually ride on board with Blister as Blister makes the inside move. I don't know what corner that is because I know nothing about this track, this fictional test track here in Forza Motorsport 7, but able to take the inside line there on Slow Motion Fire and now moves himself up to 5th position. Slow drops back to 5th, Slow to 6th. Presto is Besto back there in 7th position. As we ride on board, he sees the action now. They're too wide, Slow Motion and Blister are, and it's actually going to be Slow Motion Fire who's got the advantage through that right-hander. Turn number 1, and now Slow Motion Fire back up in the 1st position. We'll run on board, and look at that obstacle. It comes at you so quickly, even though it's only a whole 102 horsepower. You got to make a decision pretty quickly which way you're going to go, and obviously if you've got traffic out to your side, you got to be mindful of that. You're not bumping door panels and causing any havoc. I'd like to see maybe at least once a driver taking that outside line. Turn 2 and Slow Motion Fire a little bit too far into the inside, hits the crash barrier. And is that going to give the opportunity to Blister? Blister currently showing in 5th position, so out there by a nose and heading into the right-hander where he made the move on Slow Motion last time. He seems to have it quite well this time by, and that'll be the wrap on lap number 4, and actually tagging the crash barrier there a little bit. That'll slow you down. That's what we talk about all the time here in the FM4 series, particularly with these slower E300 cars. You lose momentum, even the slightest bit. That could be detrimental for you and your chances of gaining position. These drivers aren't likely to make mistakes in these slower cars, so if you do make one, you're going to pay for it. And speaking of which, Slow Motion then tagged the inside line. I don't know what it is about these crash barriers, if they're magnetic or what. These drivers seem to be tagging them left and right. Let's go ahead and jump back out off the car view here with Blister. Family Dude still out in front. C-Tom there in 2nd. Slipstream in 3rd. Blister Gypsy coming through the right-hander. No, that's actually that's the line they've been running. So I thought maybe there for a second they had opted for a different line. Not the case. Blister Gypsy now starting to get out ahead of Slow Motion Fire. Let's go back to 8th position with Funtang. Funtang, without a doubt, has demonstrated his driving ability throughout the season here in the FM4. Despite the fact that he's qualified toward the back of the pack or the mid-pack section for each race, he finds himself charging back up to the front every single time. So I don't know if he, I won't accuse him of sandbagging during qualifying, but I don't know if he's doing that on purpose to give himself a little bit of a challenge or what. Funtang, our Season 1 champion, our Season 2 champion back in the Mileage Masters Championship. A phenomenal racer. Doing things here in the FM4, and look at that. You come up out of turn number 1, and you've got a bit of a bump, which unsettles the car a bit, and now Funtang looks to take 8th position. Disco Joint there in 9th as they come out of, I call it a hangar, but it almost kind of looks like a terminal the way that one is decorated up. little bit nicer than some of these more industrial-looking ones. Here comes Presto's Besto in 7th, Food Tank 8th, Disco in 9th. Back behind Disco is Bippity, racing for the first time here in FM4 Season 24. He's between Disco and Fear the Fun, and we see a lot of scratches there on the driver's side of that car, so perhaps he too finding himself into the crash walls here at the test track. And there it is, Bippity head first into that right-hander and catching. I missed that. I was Fear the Fun. No, it was either Gotta Go Fast or Carpe Diem, who got tangled up with Bippity after Bippity went into the crash wall. And so now Bippity will fall back to... Actually, looks like Bippity might have dropped out of the race now. No, he has fallen back to 14th position. Carpe Diem there in 15th. Demos in 16th. Well, let's see if anybody is contesting. And by anybody, I mean C-Tom. If he's tracking down Family Dude, it doesn't seem to be the case. But if we look back there in 3rd and 4th, Imel is having to put up with, that's going to be Slipstream there in 4th position. Imel in that Kawasaki paint job. Slipstream in the Toyota, the old school Toyota trophy truck look. Imel sliding the backside of out, and that's not going to help him at all. Drifting may look cool, but it doesn't help you. And holding on to that precious momentum, and Slipstream takes advantage now, moving back in the 3rd position. Beautiful day out here at the test track. If I were to guess where this might be, I don't know, maybe Nevada somewhere. Oh, and gosh, who was that? Was that Fear the Fun? We had somebody off to the side there. Try to figure out who that might have been. No, that was definitely not Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun is in the yellow. Was that Ray Devil? Yes, it's Ray Devil. Ray Devil off to the side, just kind of spectating at this point. Not sure what happened to Ray Devil. Let's go back up to 4th with Imel as he continues to duke it out with Slipstream, and they're starting to approach C-Tom, who's up there in 2nd. So while Family Dude may be out of reach, 2nd position definitely still seems to be up for grabs. 8 of 24 laps beginning right now. We peer over the shoulder, so to speak, with Imel. And actually, we've got even more cars starting to get in on this action, too. So, 2nd all the way back through 6th may be interesting as Blister Gypsy and Slow Motion Fire continue to close in. Slow Motion Fire dropping back out of 5th place, back to 6th after making contact with the wall a little bit earlier on. As they go past Ray Devil off to the side. We see 3 and 4. Imel in 4th, Slipstream in 3rd, and yes, let's go hang out with Slipstream a bit as he continues to reel in C-Tom, and I inadvertently selected C-Tom there. Let's go to Slipstream. Right on board with him. Shadow Edge Media live on Twitch TV after 4. Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series Season 24, week number 4, the penultimate week before next week's 65 lapper at Lime Rock. And again, that's next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here, Shadow Edge Media. We hope you'll hang out with us here on a Tuesday evening, the eve before the eve of Thanksgiving for us U.S. folks. Saving up our appetite, or building an appetite. Building our appetite, getting ready to stuff our faces, watch some football. I don't know what else happens on a Thanksgiving day. You've got dog shows, you've got parades, all kinds of stuff. You can't go bored. And then, of course, the next day, everybody just throws caution to the wind, and we all just go buy a bunch of stuff, or we just shop on Amazon, right? Appreciate you following me here. If you are following on Twitch TV, if you have not and you are enjoying the action here, the broadcast, click the follow button. Lets me know as a broadcaster that you are enjoying the stream, and if you do have the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, either monetarily or through your Twitch Prime subscription, that would be greatly appreciated. All proceeds going back to supporting these broadcasts, in particular the Mileage Masters Championship. We just wrapped up season number 4 on Sunday. We'll have more of that to come here in 2019. I look forward to it. So if you didn't race with us, or maybe you just caught us there on the tail end of that season, then join us again. Look for the details coming soon on the 2019 start. That'll be the beginning of the Winter Series. And you thought Season 4 was fun and interesting and exciting? Well, wait till you see what we've got ready for Season 5. You see IML up there, and actually Family Dude not too far ahead unless that's lap traffic. And I think that is actually lap traffic. I was, no, it isn't. It's C-Tom getting closer to Family Dude. And then even going back all the way to Blister Gypsy in 5th and Slow Motion Fire in 6th, this pack from 1st to 6th is starting to come together again like an accordion or something. They all thin themselves out by about lap 5, and now here getting ready to kick off lap 12, the halfway point in this race. They're all coming back together. Perhaps that's a situation where after you've got a couple laps under your belt, you get a lot more comfortable with the track. You don't have as much traffic around you, so you're able to run some of your cleaner laps or your fastest laps. And then, of course, as we see a few of these mistakes start to come into play, your drivers who thought maybe they had an opportunity to run away with this one and get a little bit too comfortable find themselves in a crash wall, and next thing you know, you've got a driver there in your rearview mirror. See Tom coming out of that right-hander, back there in 3rd, Slipstream still in 3rd position with IML back behind him. Hang tight, folks, halfway through this one. The latter half of this one, or probably the last 3 quarters, I think are going to get really interesting here toward the end. Blister Gypsy starting to make a run now at IML with Slow Motion Fire falling off the pace. Let's go back to Funtang, who's moved his way up to 7th position. Will he be making a run at some of these guys toward the tail end of this race? Presto is Besto, Disco Joint. Those two still battling it out back there in 8th and 9th. Let's go hang out with Presto. It's amazing when you get 2 of these slow Fiats, all 102 horsepower of them. It's amazing when you get 2 of them together how quick they look when they're racing against one another. By themselves, not so much. There they go past the start-finish line. Come on, camera. Keep up. And there they go over the hill. Disco Joint's going to have the inside line. Presto is Besto closing in on that driver's side panel. Now they start to space it out a little bit, and look at they're looking wide, but I think you really have to take that inside line. You go out to the outside, and you're easily knocking at least a second or 2 off of your pace. Real high speed quartering section there, and then you do have to hit the brakes for this set of left and right turns. Oh, there's the loading screen. We hate to see the loading screen, and maybe it's just Ray Devil jumping out after spectating for so long. T-Phrase in 10th position. Got to go fast is in 11th. Fear the Fun in 12th. Carpe Diem in 13th. Bippity we saw as far up as 8th or 9th, I believe. Now back there in 14th position after coming in contact with the wall through that final right-hander. And after Bippity Bippity actually just moved up a spot over Carpe Diem. GT Ollie back there in 15th. Demos is in 16th, and Ray Devil still on the track in 17th position. Let's go up over to Blister Gypsy. First time racing here at season 24, and he's got a blistering pace. Look at that. Getting close to 4th position. IML. Loading screen. Why loading screen? Why do you do this to us? There we go. Trail of cars, slow motion back there a ways. Let's go ahead and we'll go hang out with IML here as he is between Slipstream, and he's got to be seeing Blister Gypsy back there behind him, closing in. IML, I love it, representing Canadian Bacon Racing. Yeah. Canadian Bacon. Between the Wonder Bread design and the Domino's Pizza design, and what else have we seen out here? And Canadian Bacon Racing? I just got to bring dinner to these races at this point and just kind of eat. That would be rude, but get a hunger built up watching these guys. IML. He's got kind of a flashy design. I saw the sun gleaming off his driver's suit on the inside there. Picking out different driver suits. So you got that customization here in Forza Motorsport 7, making things interesting, not only on the paint designs of the cars, but now you can get some pretty flashy driver gear. Really customizing things. And look at here, we've got drivers now, the lead cars starting to encounter lap traffic, and so that will be that's now a new element for these drivers here in this 24 lapper with a 1.74 mile track. We anticipate this. You're going to have those drivers that are hanging back-to-back markers, and of course the lead guys starting to approach, and now C-Tom must be running a wonderful pace. Let's see if we can't get any information on his pace. Because he is getting closer and closer to Family Dude, despite Family Dude doing really, really well at the onset of this one. C-Tom in the running for me at least in terms of best car designs. He's got that classic Golf paint job with the FM4 number board on the side. Lap after lap, just chipping away. He's not the only one, though. Slipstream trying to make some magic happen. If Slipstream can close that gap a little bit, he will be, in fact, slipstreaming or drafting there on the backside of C-Tom. I think he's a little bit too far away at this point. C-Tom, though, maybe starting to get some of the drafting effects there off of Family Dude. Coming up across the start-finish line, beginning of lap 17 of 24. After this race, we get back out onto a real-world circuit, heading out to Sebring in the nighttime. Now, that's something that we haven't done here on the broadcast. We have not yet broadcasted a nighttime race, so that'll be interesting to see how that all goes. 11 laps out there at the Sebring full circuit, and 11 laps, you're thinking, oh, well, that's small compared to the 24. Well, that's a 3.7 mile circuit Sebring is. Family Dude now starting to get away from C-Tom once again, and C-Tom starting to get away from Slipstream. They're accordioning again, if we can make a verb out of that. Hang out here with Family Dude a bit. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can't take a look at the vehicle setup, or not the vehicle setup necessarily, but damage situation, just to see where these cars are after 18 laps out here at the test track. Not too big on the tire wear, and that's pretty well anticipated. You don't have cars with a terribly large amount of horsepower, so these tires don't get beat up too much, and the fact that they're on street tire compound, well, street tire compound would be the not the base tire that comes from the manufacturer, but the next level up. So they have a little bit more, they're able to withstand some of this cornering, the G-forces that these 102 horsepower Fiat X19s are pulling off. There's the trail of cars. Family Dude in first. C-Tom in second, Slipstream in third, Blister Gypsy back there in fourth, Imel in fifth, Slow Motion Fire sixth, Foontang in seventh. Let's go see Foontang is starting to close in on Slow Motion Fire. Well, Foontang's got demos there of lap traffic to deal with first before he'll have a chance at Slow Motion. Really surprised, I've got to admit, the amount of cosmetic damage on these cars indicating that these guys are ending up into the tire walls or in the crash barriers out here on this track. You can see there's plenty of room, with the exception of when you go through those hangars. It's a little bit more confined, but I think for the most part the contact has happened on some of these crash barriers, with these guys just trying to get every single bit of space to cut these corners as much as possible. And that's where that damage is coming from. So, despite the track having plenty of space to work with, for the most part, I mean, there are some tighter sections like we see right here. For the most part, a pretty wide track. There goes Foontang now on the backside of Demos. And again, Demos, lap traffic. So Demos is going to take the inside line coming up to this next one. And no, Foontang's going to have to hang back. I thought maybe Demos was going to let him go. There he goes. Oh, that could have been tragic there from Foontang, because Demos was right there on the apex, and it looked like he didn't actually line it up very well, did Demos, and was kind of in the way of Foontang. Foontang maybe anticipating Demos going a little bit further inside than he actually did, but no consequence, no foul. Continues to march on. Back behind Foontang is Disco Joint in 8th. T-Phrase in 9th. Gotta go fast in 10th. Fear the Fun is 11th. Bippity in 12th. Carpe Diem in 13th. Ollie in 14th. Demos 15th. 16th and 17th. We've lost 2 drivers. One of those would have been Ray Devil. I'm not exactly sure who the other one is, but we've lost 2 drivers here in this week for race number 1. C-Tom, that Golf design. 20 laps. Almost in the books, getting ready to start lap number 21. And unless Family Dude does whatever he did earlier that allowed C-Tom to close in, unless that happens again, C-Tom, I think, is just going to be playing defense here against Slipstream. Although that gap doesn't seem to be changing much between C-Tom and Slipstream, so C-Tom may be in the groove and might be okay for the next 3.5 laps. Back behind Slipstream is Blister Gypsy, has moved up to 4th position from 5th, so Imel now falls back to 5th. Blister Gypsy, having not seen this name in the FM4 series, at least not here in Season 24. What an appearance. Get a few points on the scoreboard for him. He goes wide coming out of that final right-hander back toward the start-finish line and bashes into the wall. Great pace he's got going. Up into the air. Hang tight here with Blister Gypsy. You'll see this little bump that I was alluding to earlier, which, if it catches you off guard, right there, it's as you go over the runway surface, or the taxiway, one or the other. As you go over that, there's a bit of a bump there, and we've seen some drivers, their cars get a little bit more out of shape than Blister Gypsy's did there. But that's one of those areas where I have to imagine that maybe that's caught a couple of drivers off a bit, and having to come off the accelerator to realign the nose. Slipstream and C-Tom, more lap traffic up ahead. They've got Ollie, and look at that. Family Dude, SVR Family Dude, is not as far ahead once again. Not exactly sure if Family Dude is getting caught up with the lap traffic and it's throwing him off, or if he's doing it to himself. But now C-Tom, Slipstream, first, second, and third, and even Blister Gypsy back there in fourth. We'll see if anything is to come of this in the remaining 1.5 laps. Blister Gypsy, he's got Ollie there between he and third position, so he'll have to get around him. Imel creeping there in the background. Ollie getting out of the way, and Ollie will probably go wide through the turn. No, he didn't. He's sticking to his line there as Imel's a bit further back. But Blister Gypsy now, that slowed him down a bit. He's now off the pace with Slipstream. Let's see, C-Tom running wide. I think he touched that crash wall a little bit, just enough to allow Slipstream to continue to close that gap. And here they go across the line, so the white flag flies. Final lap out here at the test track. FM4 Season 24, week number 4, race number 1. Oh, Slipstream getting the front end up in the air big time. We were looking at sky there for a split second. Able to bring it back down to earth. A landing out there on the runway, and it wasn't an airplane. It was Slipstream in a Fiat X19, 102 horsepower. Not enough oomph to continue out into space. Came down pretty quickly and landed hard. Back on that suspension, but let's see if he's going to make a move. He's going to have to do it here in the final 4 turns. You've got the left-hander. Actually, there's only 3 to go. A left-hander and then 2 rights. Back out over the taxiway. And let's see, Slipstream is there. I just don't know that he has enough. There through that right-hander, he does not. Family Dude coming away with the win. C-Tom in second. Slipstream in third. Blister Gypsy coming up through the ranks. He's going to grab 4th position. 5th is Imel. Slow motion fire. Assuming he's going to be able to hold on to 6th there through that right-hander. He should be okay for it. And Food Tang trying to make the move. Just not enough track for Food Tang. And so Food Tang will be finishing there in 6th position. Disco Joint in 8th as they fly across the line. Let's go back to Gotta Go Fast in 10th position. There's that Domino's design. Yep, breadsticks, cinnamon sticks. Bring it on. I'm up for it. And Gotta Go Fast will finish behind T-Phrase. Fear the Fun, 11th. Bippity in 12th, and Bippity, unfortunately, we saw him get into that crash, and look at that Fiat all torn up there in the front. He's going to fall back into 12th and finish there with Carpe Diem back there in 13th, Ollie in 14th, and now we start getting into the lap traffic, so these cars, they may have another lap or 2 in them. This race will probably end after about 3 minutes of time. I don't know, we'll see. Is this the final lap for Ollie? Ollie across the line, he's done, so now we're just waiting for Demos. Demos back there in 5th position. Oh, Demos into the wall, and it's going to have to hobble back to the start-finish line, and he will just in time before the race timer ends. And of course, we'll take a look at the final standings once we get back out into the lobby, but there you go. Half of week 4 in the books. Before we get ready to go out to Sebring, let's take a look at those results. Family Dude in first with that 112.9. I think that pretty much mirrors, if not matches, his quick lap in qualifying. C-Tom with the 113.1. Slipstream also with a 112.9. And actually the quickest, nope,
just 1/100th behind Family Dude in terms of pace. And Blister Gypsy making his way up through the pack, up to 14th position. Came away with a 1:13.1 as a quick lap. Out in front of iMill, Slow Motion Fire, Food Tank, Disco Joint, T-Phrase, Gotta Go Fast, Fear the Fun, Bippity, Carpe Diem, Ollie, Demos, and then we see the two disconnects, and unfortunately Presto's Besto, who I think we saw him up there in about 7th position. Presto's Besto with a DNF, and so goes for Ray Devil. Those two will get 3 points each for at least starting the race. How does it sort itself out for everybody else? Well, Family Dude will get 25 points. They're in second position. C-Tom, that'll be 22. Third of Slipstream, he gets 20. Blister Gypsy with 15. iMel, 13 points. Slow Motion Fire will nab 11. 7th position of Fontang gets 10. 8th position Disco Joint will get 9 points. T-Phrase will have 8 points. Gotta Go Fast with 7. Fear the Fun with 6. Bippity, who finished 12th, will get 5 points. So that'll be 5 points to Bippity's name for the first race here in season 24 for Bippity. Just getting a little bit of practice laps in, perhaps before season 24. And then back there in 13th of Carpe Diem, Ollie, Demos, they'll each get 3. Same goes for, again, Presto's Besto and Ray Devil. So that's a wrap on race number 1. We'll get ready to go out to Sebring here shortly. There'll be some qualifying. We'll see who sits out on the pole position. Chuckle Duck, 45. Chuckle Duck, thank you for the follow. SVR Family Dude saying car twitched every time over the bump after turn 1, and that back marker causing me issues was causing C-Tom to catch me. Well, that can happen. Yeah, Family Dude talking about that bump there after turn 1, saying his car twitched, and I believe when he says twitch, he actually means that there was a some sort of little bit of a glitch between the server and what he's seeing on screen that kind of throws him off a little bit versus it just being a bump. And so Family Dude contending with that, and then also some of the back markers. But hey, that's what happens when you get into a series like the FM4 Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series or in the Mileage Masters Championship, is that there's a great level or a diverse level of skill out there on the track. And so on these shorter tracks, out here on this test track of 1.74 miles, you're bound to encounter some of those back markers, and so while they may hold their line, which may be the traditional racing line, you got to find a way around them. Fear the Fun was able to do that, come away with the win, but did notice or did mention that C-Tom was starting to close in on him. So we'll see if back markers are an issue out here at Sebring. I'm going to guess that's not going to be the case as we go out to Sebring at this massive 3.7 mile track out here in Florida. Car gets unsettled. I've sim steering on, so I had to be really super cautious, says Family Dude. Again, talk about some of those undulations, those very slight disparities of the track surface out there at the test track. Presto's Besto kind of giving as he got the boot in that race. I'm Fear Turkey. Thank you for the follow. I'm Fear Turkey. How apropos, heading toward Turkey Day. You have much to be fearing there, Turkey. I am Fear Turkey, or I'm Fear Turkey. You have reasons to be concerned. What happened to Ray, says PJ Dude. Not sure if Ray Devil. I don't know. Ray Devil, we saw him kind of sitting at one of the hangars, and was kind of just sitting there. Oh, dog turned. Presto is Besto telling us that the dog turned off his console. Oh my. We hear about the kids. The kids want to go up and press the button, and they press the button, and sure enough, the console turns off. But the dog, well, that's not good. We got to train that dog not to turn off the console. Let's go ahead and throw it over to while we wait for the race organizers and the drivers to get ready for this qualifying session out at Sebring. Let's take a look at these standings. These will definitely be changing here at the conclusion of week number 4 as Slaps Bella unable to participate here in week number 4. So where you see our first through third place drivers, that will change. And of course, other drivers may very well also leap up to the top. But here's the thing that you have to remember, although this isn't really relevant to Slaps Bella's case because he's now missed 2 weeks in a row. But for all these other drivers, we drop your lowest race of the 5 weeks, the lowest amount of points that you get in any 5 week, any of the 5 weeks. And so with that being said, I say there's going to be changes in the leaderboard, but it may not be as drastic as you think as we go by championship points here for the leaderboard. You can also take a look at the overall points leaderboard there at reddit.com/r/FM4. That'll give you an idea of how these drivers have done week to week, but as it relates to the championship, we pay attention to those points, and that's a little bit different because we take the lowest of your 5 weeks and we drop that. So some of these drivers, we're not including their worst, well, for all these drivers, we're not including their worst week at this time. So depending on how all that sorts itself out, there may be a few jumps here or there across the field, but maybe not as drastic as you might anticipate. Shadow Edge Media live here on Twitch TV, week number 4 of season 24. 24 seasons. Kudos to the drivers, the race organizer, Slow Motion Fire, for 24 seasons of the FM4 Spec Racing Series. And if I remember correctly, if I've got my FM4 lore memorized, I believe Slow Motion Fire said that this series started back in the Forza Motorsport 4 days, which just so happened to coincide with the name FM4. And so they've kind of been mistaken as, wait, hold on, Forza Motorsport 4? Is that where you got? No. They're not. They're definitely here in Forza Motorsport 7. But the series called FM4. And here we go, getting ready for qualifying out here at Sebring. 3 laps of qualifying, so that'll be quite a stent. We're going to have quite some time out here at Sebring for this qualifying session. 3 laps. The first one, obviously, coming off of the line at a standstill. So this first lap not likely to be the top lap for a lot of these drivers. It's not until that flying lap there on the second and third go around that we'll start to see some of the quicker times out here. Hanging out with T. Fraze with that GoPro Fiat X19. And yes, Sebring at night, and actually it's almost like just shortly after sunset here. So shortly after sunset for qualifying, we'll see what the environment is during the actual race, but we've got the headlamps on, cooler track, fireworks overhead. Beautiful night out here in Florida. Approaching hairpin. Riding on board, well, we were riding on board, but now spectating family, dude. And then Alitalia Fiat X19, the racer there at the test track not too long ago for race number 1. Here we are for qualifying for race number 2. The FM4 Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, again, will be concluding this series next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on Shadow Edge Media with the broadcast. 65 races out at the West Chicane of Lime Rock. So we watch Family Dude go over the sunset section here of Sebring over the concrete. These concrete squares, which are uneven, so you get a lot of bumping on the suspension through this section. Now back across the start-finish line for the first flying lap. But thinking ahead to season 25, if you'd like to participate, go to reddit.com/r/FM4 for all the information. And season number 5 of the Mileage Masters Championship coming at you in 2019. Make sure you hang out and keep checking back here at twitch.tv/Shadow Edge Media for all the latest details on that season. The announcement when we have that. You can find the Discord channel for that series down below in the pit lane etiquette section. Go to our Discord channel, and that's where you can make sure that you have all the latest and greatest news as it comes about. We post it there in the newsroom. Family Dude watching him go around. C-Tom has got the current best lap, but again, that was from a standstill with a 249.7, 109 miles an hour. Probably there on the backstretch coming out of the Lamar corners. Speaking of Mileage Masters Championship, we've got an off-season race coming at you on December 2nd. Because we are in the off-season, we will have a few races in between then and now, between now and Season 5, the start of Season 5, just to keep things going for our drivers who would like to participate. We'll have the announcement of what that race looks like at the conclusion of this one. And as always, and by as always, I mean for the one time that we have done this, when we go into an intermission, we have a race of champions. And the race of champions is the champions in one vehicle model versus everybody else in a different vehicle model. And so it's the champions racing amongst each other. It's everybody else racing amongst each other. But we do it in a very peculiar and interesting way. So you'll want to stay tuned for that, because it's one that should put a smirk on your face after you see it. It'll be a fun one to watch. And again, that'll be on December 2nd right here on Twitch TV. All right, we are hanging out with Family Dude, who's about ready to set his first flying lap. So we'll hang tight with him, as he is quite possibly going to be our pole sitter out here at Sebring. If any indications of past races are going to be correct for this time around, we saw him on the pole position last race, and we saw it last week in week 3 when Slaps Vela was not with us. So Slaps, for whatever reason, unable to race for the last 2 Tuesdays here in FM4, giving an opportunity for Family Dude to move up in the standings, and he will. Family Dude, if he, I think if he comes away with the win in this one, he will, without question, be the leader on the leaderboard. Top spot. Watch him coming out of Big Bend toward the hairpin. And actually, it's going to be Slipstream who, I don't know, our telemetry is telling us that Slipstream still has the fast lap at a 2:45. Let me jostle the stats and see if that doesn't change. Slipstream still showing out there in front, and Slipstream finishing in 3rd position last race. There at the test track behind C-Tom. I'm Fear Turkey. How do I get involved? Go to reddit.com/r/FM4. reddit.com/r/FM4. And Family Dude spinning it out, so that's going to be a slow lap for him. Perhaps he's just showing off for the camera here at this point. Let's go hang out with our current fastest driver out there with Slipstream. He's got Fu-Tang silhouetted there, ghosted behind him. Slipstream with that 245. Fear the Fun now with a 110. About as high as we'll see these cars get up to. 102 horsepower, E300 class. Snooty says, list has GTO. Oh, yeah, OWL. It has OWL versus OLW. Thank you, Snooty. We'll get that fixed. I appreciate that. We'll get that fixed up before next week. I prefer to call him GT All. I think that's what it should be, or excuse me, OWL. That's what it should be. But because Ollie has a little dyslexia there, he became OLW. I'm kidding. We love Ollie, and we appreciate all the contributions he brings to the Forza Motorsport community on the Forza channel, on this channel during the MMC races. Ollie, a big proponent and component of the Forza community here as of late. Family Dude saying dirty last turn on lap 2, so that's the reason why he kind of just flung the car around, was he had already dirtied the lap, so he figured, well, what the heck, what's the point? Slipstream holds on to it still with that 245. I don't know anybody's going to be able to top that, as it looks about half the pack has completed their flying laps. Let's see if we can't make out who our top driver is. Blister Gypsy with a 247. That's still not going to be better than Slipstream's 245. And oh, we see back there Fear the Fun. Looks like Fear the Fun may be opposite of Slipstream. No, Fear the Fun. Nope, he is just 1/10 off the pace of Slipstream there with a 245.8. So Fear the Fun very well could be on the outside there of the starting line on the grid, outside of Slipstream. Not Fear the Fun. Slow Motion Fire with a 249. We go back up there. Blister Gypsy with that 247, 248 of T-Phrase. Disco Joint also with a 248. It's going to be T-Phrase who edges out Disco Joint there by 1/10 of a second. Bippity, a 254. Fear the Fun with a 245. We already mentioned him. C-Tom with a 246. 249 of Carpe Diem. Imel with that 246.1. That's pretty quick. And Demos with a 252.5. What's up there, Snooty? What's up, Presto? What's up, Chuckle Duck? I don't know why Chuckle Duck is crying. Why are you crying there, Chuckle Duck? Appreciate the follow either way, and if you are watching the broadcast here, you're enjoying your time, please click the follow button. Really appreciate it as we get ready to go back to racing here at Sebring for the final race of season 24, week number 4, before we head out to Lime Rock next Tuesday. That'll be a fun one to watch. 65 laps. So that race, pit strategy, that's the first time and the only time that'll weigh in during these Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series events, is when you've got that long endurance finale. So not only is it 65 laps out there at Lime Rock, which we have not yet commentated, we have not yet broadcasted out of the Lime Rock track, so that'll be a first. And then to see these drivers here who are able to go the length of these races without stops, potentially have to stop. I say that they'll have to do pit stops, or that pit strategy will weigh in there, but I'm not entirely sure that it will now that I think about it. I think the tires will be okay. It's a matter of whether or not the fuel will be able to go the distance. For 65 laps, not sure. We'll see. We'll find out next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on Twitch TV. SVR Family Dude saying should be able to put on a bit of a show at least. Yeah. I think this next one should be pretty good. Let's see. We're waiting for our drivers to go ahead and ready up here. Let's see if we've got any new faces joining in for this one. I don't believe that's the case. And actually, we've lost, looks like Ray Devil, has not rejoined the lobby, and Presto is Besto, whose dog turned off his console during the last race. That's the reason why he got disconnected. The pooch clicking the off button there on the console, and I don't see Presto as Besto out here. So either the dog has turned off the console and has permanently parked himself over it, preventing Presto from racing, or Presto has just decided, hey, I'm gonna call it a night and not go on. All right, we've got everybody readied up, it looks like, so we're just hanging tight for the race organizers to give us the go-ahead. 11 laps at this 3.7-mile circuit, 16 corners out at Sebring. Very flat track. There's no level or elevation change out at this track whatsoever, and this is a pretty historic circuit out here in Florida, a track that was born out of a abandoned airfield, and you can catch the 12 hours of Sebring out here annually. Plenty of racing action happening out here throughout the year, and of course it's Florida, so I mean the weather permits it. You're going to be out there racing quite a bit. Here we go. We've got the final countdown and the final race of the night. Here's a look at the grid. Slipstream's going to be out there opposite of Fear the Fun. Imel, C-Tom, Funtang. We'll go ahead and we'll hang out with Fear the Fun for the lunch. Back there in the third set, the third pair of cars, Funtang with T-Phrase on his right side. Disco Joint, Slow Motion Fire. Carpe Diem and Family Dude are going to be battling it out together there, at least for the onset of this race. We'll see how long it takes for Family Dude to make his way up through the pack, telling us that he dirtied his lap during qualifying, so was not able to set a really quick time. And yes, finds himself back there in 10th position. Here we go. We hear the helicopters overhead, the engines spooling up. Let's get ready to go racing. Here we go. Kick the tires, light the fire. Slipstream is off the line. Fear the Fun. Imel, C-Tom, Funtang, T-Phrase, Disco Joint, Carpe Diem, first through ninth as they come up to turn number one. This sweeping right-hander still out there on concrete. You've got those little bumps in the road that can throw the car off a little bit, but everybody keeping their car quite composed. Nicely done through turn number one. Now here they go, slowing it down. This is probably the slowest section of the track right here before you get ready to enter Big Bend and go underneath that Chevrolet Corvette bridge. Slipstream there to the back of Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun, the first underneath the Chevrolet bridge, and then it's a train of cars. This track out here at Sebring, not very wide, so there you see Imel dart out to the outside, lining himself up for the chicane here at Hairpin. And he's going to be in third is Imel. Fear the Fun staying in second. Slipstream there still in Slipstream in second. Or in first. Pardon me. No, in second. Fear the Fun is out there in first. Funtang back there in fifth position. He's got C-Tom out in front of him in fourth. And look at that. They're three wide. Family Dude's going to drop back. So Family Dude from 10th up to 4th, then he drops back to 6th, now moves up to 5th with Funtang falling back. They were three wide going into that next turn out of the hairpin. Now they go through Collier. Family Dude out to the outside, 4th position of C-Tom out of Tower. Family Dude with the Alitalia paint job. You would think it was an aircraft as quickly as this thing is moving. Is he taxiing or taking off, or is he driving a Fiat X19? We can't tell. How he's gone from 10th to 4th is incredible. And now they get ready to go through Bishop. Actually, this is the Le Mans section now at this point. They've already come out of Bishop through Le Mans and out onto the long straightaway, the longest one here of the course, this 3.7-mile circuit. Disco Joint back there in 6th, trying to make a move on T-Phrase to the inside of T-Phrase. Let's go back up to 2nd position with Slipstream, with Fear the Fun out there in front of him as they go into Sunset. And this is a very prominent corner in racing. It's a difficult one. You see those cars bouncing around. We'll take a look at the suspension a little bit later on here in this race, but they are jostling the tires and the suspension through that corner before they head back out to the start-finish line. And look at that, using the draft to keep close. Single file down the long straightaway. We've got the lights, the lights overhead here at the track at Sebring. As the sun is setting, the headlamps are turned on. Here comes Slipstream, kind of peeking. Not a great corner to make a move there on Fear the Fun. I think that's probably a wise decision to go ahead and duck back behind. Coming out of Big Bend here, this will be a better opportunity to make a run, and actually takes an opportunity there, gets into the driver's side panel, and he's going to have to fall back into second position. He's trying for it. And I think that's because Slipstream knows that he's got to get around Fear the Fun, because Family Dude will start rearing his beautiful, beautiful head back there, back in fourth position. He'll start to show up. We won't say that he's rearing his ugly head. I'm sure he's a fine-looking gentleman. But Family Dude, yeah, he's back there, and I'm sure Slipstream knows it. And any opportunity he can move up to first and put two cars between he and Family Dude, he's going to take that opportunity. And now they head through the shorter section back here, and again to the Collier area of the track. Up over the curbing, you gotta be careful on the curbing here at Sebring. It's not as forgiving as it is at some tracks. Particularly with these slower cars. It just takes one little bad move on the curbing, and you can find yourself out in the grass. And 102 horsepower on grass, and you're accelerating heavily. You're trying to get back out on the track. It usually doesn't go well, especially when you've got oncoming traffic. You got to watch out and make sure that you're getting back out on the track safely. We'll go ahead and run through the drivers and where they sit on the grid. We'll stick with Slipstream here, but back behind Slipstream is Imel in third. Slipstream going a little bit wide coming out of Lamar, back onto the straightaway. Family Dude back there in fourth. C-Tom in fifth. Disco Joint sixth. T-Phrase in seventh. Foontang eighth. Slow Motion Fire is ninth. Blister Gypsy back there in 10th, who finished fourth last race. We'll see if he makes his way up any further than 10th position. I have to imagine he will. 11th position is Carpe Diem. Got to go fast in 12th. Bippity at 13th. 14th is Ollie. 15th is Demos. And that's the pack of 15 that we have out on the track for this one. The two, Ray Devil and Presto Esbesto, not joining us here for race number 2. C-Tom is now showing in fourth position. C-Tom has made a move on Family Dude. Now Family Dude to the outside through turn 1, and he's going to be real wide. And Family Dude now drops back to 5th. Disco Joint behind him. So Family Dude said, hey, this should make it interesting, knowing that he didn't finish well. He didn't qualify well. And it sure is. And Family Dude, oh, it looked like he was going to run wide there, but able to keep it out on the track, or at least on the curbing, and then back out onto the track. Disco Joint, would be interesting to see what Disco Joint's going to do. Oh, and Imel dropping back now. C-Tom up to 3rd. Family Dude to 4th. Imel finds himself in that Kawasaki Fiat. Now into 6th, or in 5th. Out of hairpin. Fear the Fun and Slipstream have got to be loving the fact that they've got C-Tom now in 3rd position. C-Tom, a fast driver. You better believe he's not going to be giving in to Family Dude. So the more that C-Tom can hold off Family Dude, the more time that gives our 1st and 2nd place drivers an opportunity to start to peel away. Drew Bishop. What a scene. What What fun this would be to be out at Sebring for this one, watching these Fiats just kind of cruising around the track. You've got the fireworks overhead. You've got the excitement, the nightlife there of evening racing circuit. A big facility out here in Sebring, so plenty going on. I'll have to make my way out there at some point. Small steps, though. Small steps. Circuit of the Americas in Sebring. Family Dude tracking down the long straightaway with Tom out in front of him, and here we go over Sunset and the concrete. Bump, you see it. I mean, we don't even have to be running aboard to see it. And again, we'll take a look at the suspension. We'll take a look at suspension next time by, just to show you how crazy it really is. But there they go across the line for the beginning of lap number 4 in this 11-lap race. Dustin Moore, otherwise known on Xbox Live as The Shadow Edge, broadcasting with you live, unless you're watching this on demand, of course. For race number 2 of Week 4, Season 24, the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. We've already had some folks there in the pit lane ask, hey, how do I get involved in this series? Go to reddit.com/r/FM4. All the details, everything you need to know about registering for this series, getting a vehicle ready to go for this series, and even if you don't race here in Season 24, Season 25 will be just around the bend, and whoever comes away as the Season 24 champion will decide which vehicle it is that is raced in Season 25. And I look forward to broadcasting that series with the team as we move forward on into the final month of 2018, and then into 2019. And then 2019, Season 5 of the Mileage Masters Championship. We had a marvelous Season 20, Season 4 in the NFC, and big things coming in Season 5 as we start to see, speaking of big things, we start to see Slipstream, C-Tom, Family Dude closing in on each other, and Fear the Fun hasn't been able to get away. So probably what Fear the Fun and Slipstream are fearing is that they just aren't able to take advantage of the fact that Family Dude is back behind C-Tom. And I don't want to say yet at this point that they're going to pay for it, but they should probably be trying to get a little bit, and I know they are. I know they're trying to get away, but wherever they have an opportunity, they got to make the most of it. As we go over the suspension there, you can see on the right-hand side, maybe not as much undulation there in the graph as we would anticipate, but that very well could be thanks to the setup these drivers put into these cars. You tune these vehicles for Sebring, you're pretty much, as far as suspension goes, you're pretty much tuning for this section of the track, for these concrete sections where you have all these bumps. The less that the wheels have to deal with those undulations, and more that the suspension can absorb that, the better planted your car is going to be getting through that part of the track. And look at that, it's a double pass on C-Tom. Slipstream goes to the outside. And, Family Dude, well, no, Slipstream to the outside, Family Dude to the inside. And now C-Tom falling back to 4th, a double pass. Incredible. And so exactly what Slipstream didn't want to have to deal with, and Slipstream actually fell back there a little bit for C-Tom. But exactly what Slipstream didn't want to have happen has happened, where Slipstream has now fallen back to Family Dude, but Family Dude was able to get around C-Tom somehow, some way, getting through what was turn 3 and 4, I believe, out toward Big Bend. Slipstream now looking to give that back up to C-Tom. Oh no. C-Tom's got the advantage, the inside line, but now it's going to be Slipstream going into the next turn here through Collier's. Imel's back there. Now Imel makes some moves on C-Tom. C-Tom now is going to fall back to 5th. All kinds of changing in the position here. First through 6th. This is the excitement that we've been looking for here in the FM4 series. These drivers all very close on the leaderboard as well. Family Dude, who was running 2nd overall on the leaderboard coming into this race. C-Tom running 3rd. Disco Joint was 4th. Slipstream was 5th. Imel was 6th. Again, we're anticipating some changes. Maybe not some drastic changes, depending on the whole worst week situation where we drop your lowest week. But certainly for Slaps Vela, he'll be the most. He'll make the most moves down than anybody, thanks to not being able to race here in week 3 and 4, and everybody else will benefit from that. We'll take a look at the map just to see where everybody is. A few cars coming out of Le Mans yet, as the front half enters Sunset, finishing up lap number 5. So we're a little bit more than halfway through this race as they trigger the mark at the start-finish line, and there we go, beginning of lap number 6. Second half of this race coming at you. And hang tight. Again, we'll take a look at this final the final standings in this race over there at reddit.com/r/FM4. They'll update the scoreboard. Of course, we'll post up the scoreboard, the updated scoreboard, as we go into the finale next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. But then also, at the conclusion of this race here, we'll quickly mention what the off-season event for the Mileage Masters Championship, because we are in between seasons, having just wrapped up season number 4. There goes C-Tom making a move on Imel, and Imel really off the pace now, falling back. Let's go up to Family Dude in 2nd position. He's got his eyes on Fear the Fun. We'll be announcing that off-season event here at the conclusion of this race, and again, it should put a little bit of a grin on your face, a smile, a twinkle in your eye as we talk about what that off-season event's going to be. If you weren't here for the Super Van Derby of Champions, well, you'll want to be here for the next one. They're always good fun. We'll talk about the whole reason, the rationale behind the setup for that one here in just a bit. But right now, what we have to look at is Fear the Fun, starting to maybe fear the Family Dude, is what might be happening right now. One headlamp left on Family Dude's car, one headlamp left on Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun, his tail lamps are out. He's been taking a beating there from his fellow drivers out on the track here at Sebring. 3.7 miles, 16 corners. Family Dude and Fear the Fun going out of Bishop now into Le Mans. A tribute section to the Le Mans circuit out there in France. Out on the straightaway, sun setting. Out here at Sebring, you can see that marine layer starting to filter in there in the background. Beautiful night for racing. Here they come through Sunset. And what a name for this corner too, because when you're running the 12 hours of Sebring or the 24-hour race here at this track, that corner is killer. You're looking right into the sun. We see the sun where it is right now, portrayed out above the track. It's kind of up there in the clouds, but in the real world, right time of the year, you're staring right into the sun coming into that section. Dangerous, dangerous. Family Dude now here for lap number 7, closing in on Fear the Fun. Slipstream back there in 3rd position. In 4th is C-Tom. 5th is Disco Joint. Imel, unfortunately, falling back to 6th. Footang in 7th. Blister Gypsy, not making a whole heck of a lot of moves at this point, has moved up from 10th to 8th. T-Phrase in 9th. Carpe Diem in 10th. Got to go fast in 11th. 12th is Slow Motion Fired. Bippity there in 13th. Ollie in 14th. And Demos clear on the opposite end of the track there in 15th position. But hey, as we say in the MMC, same holds true here in FM4. Regardless of your skill level, get out on the track, race these events through to the end, all the way in their entirety. It helps you build up your skill level here in the virtual racing world, and then also you come away with some cool credits that you can then go spend in Forza Motorsport 7. Family Dude right there on the back end throwing sparks. Fear the Fun probably thinking, hey, I've got enough damage to the back of my car. I don't need any more. Please lay off. And now they approach Tower. And that name for that tower that you can kind of see out there to the side. And I think it's called Tower because that's where the air traffic control tower, when this facility was an airport, I think that's where that tower resided. It's the main tower out of Bishop. I'm going to say it with confidence because if you say it with confidence, it's true. Nobody can refute you at that point. Fear the Fun a little bit wide through that section of Le Mans. Coming out almost 2 tires off onto the curving and runoff area. I wouldn't say anything worth penalizing there for. Down the straightaway. All 100% of acceleration, all 102 horsepower, all 112 foot-pounds of torque, pushing these 2,077-pound Fiat X19s around the course here at Sebring. Wrapping up lap number 7, heading into turn number 16. Family Dude was looking to the inside, not going to have it. Getting ready for lap number 8. Danny Jukabek saying Ollie about to crash into everyone. No, Ollie's good. Ollie knows how to keep himself in the right spot at the right time. At least I think, unless Ollie did something I didn't catch. But Ollie pretty mindful of his capability. Here goes Family Dude, the outside of Fear the Fun, and Family Dude has got it, at least for now. Heading now toward Big Bend. He'll be able to maintain it. There you go, Family Dude, with a beautiful pass. A little bit of rubbing, but rubbing's racing, right? At least with what we learned from Talladega Nights. And Fear the Fun now going to look to the inside, coming up to Hairpin. Will he be able to do it? No, he just doesn't. Just doesn't have it there. We'll see. There may be an opportunity for Fear the Fun soon enough to reclaim first position. Just a couple laps left in this one here before the conclusion of this 11-lapper at Sebring. It's been a good one. We had great racing this week. We had great racing last week. I would say probably week 1, not as close as we would have liked, but it definitely has ramped up from here. And as the organizers sort out the points, the finale should be very, very interesting indeed. 65 laps. So unlike these races here during the first 4 weeks where you've got 2 events, in that finale, you've only got 1 event. And so if you have an off or you have a bad section in that 65-lap race, you've got some time to make it up, but you don't want to push too hard and have another mess up. So that one's all about concentration, all about focus, and being able to go through the entirety of that race with as few issues as possible. Come away as the champion. Pick which car it is that you want to race in Season 25. All kinds of fun stuff. Here we go. New Sunset, turn 16. Fear the Fun is wide. Wow, that's the widest that we've seen Fear the Fun. And perhaps getting just a little bit too anxious, a little rambunctious. And that Fiat, yes, rambunctious. 102 horsepower, rambunctious. Tom back there in 3rd position with Slipstream, and actually Slipstream now triggered as 3rd position. Let's go hang out with these two. This is our biggest battle out on the track currently. Going into turn number 1, left-hander. can run wide a little bit here. But then you want to course correct, get back out on the track, and here comes C-Tom. C-Tom looking to the inside in that Golf design. And C-Tom now has it from Slipstream. Slipstream falling back to fourth position. That was a brilliant pass. Much better. I give it to C-Tom. That was a much better pass than Family Dude's. Granted, Family Dude was contesting with somebody who was leading this race. But C-Tom not even tapping the door panel of Slipstream, getting around him. Well done. Fifth position. Disco Joint. IML in sixth. Back in seventh is Fotang, Blister Gypsy in eighth, T-Phrase ninth, Carpe Diem 10th, Slow Motion of Fire 11th, Gotta Go Fast in 12th, Bippity in 13th, Ollie in 14th, and Demos still back there in 15th. So not much change basically from seventh position onward. Those drivers maintaining their position quite well. But definitely first through sixth making it happen. And by making it happen, I mean Family Dude making that pass back there on lap number 8. And now he is leading this one with 2.5 laps remaining. Through Bishop, Fear the Fun back in second. Slipstream and C-Tom. These guys pretty evenly matched. We saw it last race. We're seeing it now.
So I learned recently that that whole book was like a ripoff of another book.
That's Twilight.
Yeah, like, and she sued the Twilight woman for it, even though she started as fan fiction of that.
Yep.
I'm like, what a terrible person.
Always catching interesting conversation there on the Racer Comms for FM4. That one a little bit more family friendly. That one was okay. Talking, what was that, the Twilight series books I was hearing them talking about? And lawsuits and ripoffs and all that. Oh, my. C-Tom there at third position. Slipstream, and that's going to put him even further back from C-Tom. Really losing his composure, running wide there through 3 and 4. Let's go back up to Fear the Fun. Let's see if he can't have at least one more go at Family Dude to conclude this race. They're in the 10th lap of 11, so they'll get the white flag next time by the officials' podium. Again, thank you all very much. I'm Fear the Turkey, or I'm Fear Turkey, Chuckle Duck Nerd Complex. I appreciate those follows. If you're watching and you enjoy the broadcast, you want to see more racing here on Shadow Edge Media, click that follow button. Lets me know that we're doing something right. And every time we go live here on the broadcast, you'll get a notification, or at least you should get a notification. And you can do that by having that all set up in your profile there. And when we go live, typically on Sundays and Tuesdays, you'll be notified. And every once in a while, we sneak in a random stream throughout the week, either with some Forza Horizon 4, with some Forza photography, something to kind of mix it up a little bit. Perhaps here during the holiday season, a little extra time off from work, maybe we'll get a few streams in here and there. Fear the Fun, half-blind racing. He's got one headlamp out, so that's kind of half-blind, but hey, he hasn't been driving half-bad out here today either, and that's the storyline. Fear the Fun doing great things out here on the track, running 7th on the overall leaderboard coming into week number 4. He will move up. Family Dude will move up. C-Tom, Disco Joint, Slipstream, IML, those gentlemen will all move up. But where will they stand among each other? There goes Fear the Fun to the inside through turn 16. Going to try to make it happen here on the straightaway, and he does. And here we go. Here comes the white flag. Final lap, 3.7 miles left to go. Season 24, race number 2 of week 4. Oh, there's so many numbers to memorize. There goes Family Dude to the inside. Alitalia versus Half Blind Racing. And Family Dude has got the advantage, but not coming up here. Fear the Fun might be able to point his nose to the inside of the apex. And it's got to be Family Dude. He's got it. We got sparks flying. Now Fear the Fun to the inside. No opportunity there. Oh, my. Underneath the Chevrolet bridge, Fear the Fun, kind of regather yourself. Get ready here for the finale. We saw him make that move there on turn 16, so maybe that's where he's going to have to do it. Oh, no, he goes off the grass, lining himself up for hairpin. Oh, get back out onto the racing surface. That's where you want to be. There goes Fear the Fun through hairpin. Now he's got his eye on Family Dude, keeping it really close. Really, really close. Approaching Collier. Not quite yet. Hold on. Getting a little bit ahead of myself. What a battle here. Family Dude, who was largely uncontested back there in week 3. Not the case here today. Fear the Fun. Really pouring it on. Something we haven't seen out of Fear the Fun all season long. He's been racing good. Again, he comes into this race with a pretty good standing in the points, but this is something different here. Up over the curve. Family Dude avoided that curve. An interesting tactic here coming out of Bishop. Fear the Fun trying to grab as much out of the apex as he possibly can. Now through Lamar. Family Dude a little bit wide. Fear the Fun right there on his tail. The second to last right-hander out onto the straightaway. Here we go. Fear the Fun on the bumper. He's going to start to look to the inside. Family Dude, you have to imagine, well, actually, Family Dude is kind of nudging out into the inside a little bit, giving Fear the Fun just a little bit less space to work with. Here we go. Oh, and Fear the Fun's going to look to the outside. And right there on the bumper, Family Dude has it blocked. And that's where it's going to finish. Family Dude in first, Fear the Fun in second. Great racing by those two. Let's go back to Slipstream, who's there in fourth. C-Tom in third, and that's how those two will finish. Back there in fifth, that's going to be Disco Joint. IML in sixth. Food Tank in seventh as he rolls out of Sunset. Blister Gypsy, he started 10th, or well, he didn't start 10th. He was actually a little bit further back, but where we first saw him early on in this race was 10th. Moved himself up to 8th. Great showing by that racer here for the first time in Season 24. T-Phrase in 9th. Carpe Diem back there in 10th position. He was sliding through 16. Slow Motion Fire in 11th. You see Carpe sliding it out over across the start-finish line. Got to go fast in 12th. Bippity in 13th. Bippity's going to show off for the camera a little bit as well, throwing some smoke. 14th position, Ollie. Ollie now just entering 16. Coming out of T16, and that Sargento. There's the other one. There's the other food product out on the track, Sargento. Maybe we'll end up at Road America again sometime soon. A beautiful track up there in Wisconsin across the line. And the last driver here in race number 2 of week 4 is Demos. And will he be able to make it before the in-race timer? We'll see. Demos. Just now coming out of Tower. And toward Bishop.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope you had as much fun watching this race as I had broadcasting it. Big J Bishop saying, my heart is pounding. Good race, family. It was. Family Dude saying, such a good race. Oh, wow. It was indeed. That's going to be a fun one for those racers to watch back. See how that battle developed and how it ultimately ended. We all know how it ended, but those drivers, they'll have to go back, watch, see what tactic they had, how well it actually worked, looking at it from a spectator point of view versus they're behind the car, or sometimes these drivers going into the in-car camera view, depending on their preference. And let's see if Demos is going to make it. Come on, Demos. You got it. Through 16, Sunset. Bumpity bump bump. Over the concrete he goes, and coming out of T16 underneath the Michelin tire bridge and across the start-finish line, and there you go. That's a wrap on week 4, and on to week 5 we will go. Let's take a look at those final standings, Family Dude, with that 244 best lap, finding himself out there in front, and rightfully so, because a 244.6. That's better than anybody else on the track, although C-Tom came very, very close, finishing 3rd with a 244.6. Fear the fun in between those two at a 244.9. Then you've got Slipstream, Disco Joint, IML, Food Tank, Blister, Gypsy, T-Phrase, Carpe Diem, Slow Motion Fire, Gotta Go Fast, Bippity, Ollie, and Demos, as we just saw. Finish line, 15 started, 15 finish. That's about as good as we can ask. No disconnects on that final race. And so, again, go to reddit.com/r/FM4 for the updated standings as the race organizers get those situated. And let's go ahead and let's talk about our off-season race. Our off-season race there in the Mileage Masters Championship. We do not we do not have another season until 2019. But here in the off-season, it's our regular, highly anticipated Derby of Champions, and this time we're hopping into the big rig. We're hopping into that Mercedes-Benz, that 2015 Mercedes-Benz racing truck. So that's what our champions get into. And so we've got 4 champions, and if they're able to race with us, that's what they'll be in. We've got DJ Hush 1. We've got Unironically Average, Foontang, and Slaps Vela. All right, so if those 4 drivers want to race in the Big Rig Derby of Champions, that's what vehicle they've got to get into, and we're allowing upgrades up to B600 in the big rigs. Now, what is everybody else going to drive? Last time, if you remember, we had super vans for the champions, and we had limousines for everybody else. Well, the everybody else car here for this race is going to be the 1963 Volkswagen Beetle. Yeah, so we'll have the giant big rigs of the champions, the 4 champions racing out there on the track among a slew of Beetles, and those Beetles can be upgraded to C500, so we'll have a class difference of 1 there. So B600 for the racing truck, C500 for the Beetles. Again, that's December 2nd, Sunday, December 2nd. That's not this coming Sunday, but that's the Sunday after. We will have no broadcast this coming Sunday in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. So I hope you all enjoy that. All the details on this race down below, twitch.tv/Shadow Edge Media. You don't have to register for this event. You don't have to qualify for this event. You just show up and race with us. And here's the beauty. Here's the real fun of this thing. We're heading out to the Top Gear test track, the Figure 8. So while it won't be a demolition derby, we do permit the drivers when they enter the cross section, where the intersection is, it's fair game. And Beetle's going up against the big rigs. Well, I wonder who's going to win that battle. So December 2nd, 10 a.m. Central Time, right here on Shadow Edge Media. It's been an absolute blast. Next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, for the conclusion of Season 24 of the FM4 season. 65 laps out at the West Chicane of Lime Rock. It'll be a fun one to watch. Will SVR Family Dude come away as the champion in this one? Will Slipstream have something to say about that? How about IML? Maybe we'll see a reappearance of Slaps Vela. You just never know.
That's again next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Until next time, y'all take care. For those of you celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday this Thursday and on through the weekend, have a great one. And for everybody else, have a great rest of the week. Have a wonderful start to the holiday season here, heading into December. If you get any racing action in here throughout the week and into the weekend, either virtually or in the real world, as always, keep it fun, keep it safe, keep it clean. Dustin Moore signing out here this evening. Take care, y'all. Goodbye. Adios. Farewell.